From Plant Lab in Austin, Texas, this is Stacker.News Live!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker.News Live. My name is Carp. My BFF Keyan, who's now glitching again. Keyan, you're glitching. Can you hear me?
Am I glitching? Oh, it must have switched on me. Oh,
Gosh.
okay.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Right.
Anyways, we're so the Stackers are at home who are watching this. I'm in Guadalajara right now for Startup Day. Crazy day. We'll talk about it during the show. Keyan is in Pleb Lab at Stacker.News headquarters recording. So we're going to do a short one today, Stackers. I really wish we could do a long one. The time management, they're doing hackathon presentations right now that I should be watching. So it's a whole thing going on. But we're doing it for you, Stackers. Never say Car never stepped up. Keyan, how was your week?
It was pretty good. Pleb Lab has been kind of empty because you're gone, everyone's gone. Which is okay. Like today, today was just me.
You guys have Bit Devs, and then there's ABC, and then the Design Club. Like,
we had Bit Devs yesterday. It was pretty awesome. We had a pretty good turnout, and then somehow coincidentally, I'm sure it's a complete mistake because Parker would never do this, but someone scheduled. They rescheduled Austin Bitcoin Club to be the exact date of our Bit Devs to hold at what do they call it now? Is it Freedom Lab or I don't know, or Commons or
Keyan? I'll just say this. Like, people come up to me like here asking me about all that stuff in Austin. People come up to me wherever I go, San Antonio, asking me all that stuff. I get pinged from people. I jump on calls. They ask me about all that stuff. I just tell them, reach out to Joe at Unchained and Parker and all those guys to get the direct answer. I don't like Cars too much focused on Pleb Lab and trying to help startups and founders. And I know you're focused on Stacker News and like what you're doing. Like, and I'm sure maybe that's what's going on with them too. But I don't know, man. Like I'm at a point now where it's like I don't know what to do. So I don't know if that's the answer you want. But I didn't
ask a question. All I was saying is I know Parker didn't plan this because who would do that except I don't know, some kind of megalomaniac or sociopath. So I think it was just an honest accident where they happened to reschedule Austin Bitcoin Club on the same day that we were holding Bit Devs. Maybe they forgot or didn't know, even though we reached out.
But you guys do it at Nifty's place though, don't you?
We do. Yeah, a different location.
Then just get Nifty to coordinate with Parker. Yeah, I mean that's what I used to do whenever we would do things. I would just go ask Parker.
Oh, ask Parker for permission to throw a meetup in Austin?
No. Talk to him. Like the two people of the hubs need to get together and say, "Hey, we're doing this on this day. We're doing," that's just how that works. Like we don't do like Club Lab only does one official meetup every month, and it's on a boring Monday. We don't do it all the time. It's like every other month. We didn't do it this month because it's Startup Day. We're gonna do it next month. We won't do it in October because of the rodeo. So it's like, yeah. So I don't really, but I know Bit Devs is like, you're trying to grow that. Nifty's trying to grow that. Like you guys are out. So yeah, just talk to him.
It's not really about growing it. It's just there's only so many Bitcoin things, and I'm not saying I don't. A pure accident, I'm sure. Because who would do that? But yeah,
it sounds like you're implying that he did it on purpose.
No, I'm just trying to be very clear that who would do that? Who would do that intentionally?
I don't think he would. Right? I know Parker pretty well. He wouldn't do that. But
I don't know him very well, but I assume
I know him
pretty
well. But I would just like you guys have to talk to each other. Like the organizers of the events have to talk to each other. If you're not talking to each other, then that's what happens.
anyway,
I don't even know why I'm talking about this. We have our own event, which I'm not taking it for the record, Parker. I'm not taking it personally. You guys can do whatever you want. We have our own event here in Guadalajara. We're doing Startup Day. The audio guys came down from Mexico City. People came from the Yucatan. People came from San Antonio. I met Lou from Bull Bitcoin. Dude, it's freaking a blast in Guadalajara right now, man. The energy's pumping. I'm here in the lounge area because we got a lounge area now. This is us growing. So I'm in the lounge area doing the show. And then right now there's a bunch of builders building some cool stuff. Shout out Justin Shocknet for dropping some sats. Shout out Foger. But like they're over here presenting, and dude, I'm super bullish on Lightning, man. Super bullish on Lightning and Guadalajara. Dude, the Bitcoin scene here is insane. If you're a Bitcoiner, you probably should check out Guadalajara. It's Keyan. It reminds me so much of 2021, dude. These guys are freaking crazy as far as like they're crazy in love with Lightning. It's fucking cool, dude. I get like me and G been here and like we're getting like old days Club Lab like flashbacks. You're like, dude, he looks like what do you know, like they're doing like it's just so reminiscent of the early days of Austin. It's freaking amazing. Anyways, other than that thing with on Thursday, how was your week?
Oh no, the thing on Thursday was fine. I don't know why that got blown up into something. I just felt like I gave my piece and then it got expanded into something else. Otherwise it was otherwise pretty good, pretty slow. Everyone's out. Nick came in. Yeah, nothing really.
Yeah.
No, nothing too big. We had our hacker friend stop by.
Oh,
they did a meeting here.
The guy. Oh wow, dude, he's a cool. You didn't talk to him, but we spent a long time talking to him. It was really cool, dude. Kind of scary, but cool nonetheless. Because I've never met like an elite hacker like that, so definitely.
I don't know.
Definitely humbled.
I mean, I'm not familiar with his exact background. All I know is what he said about himself. But anyways, he's a cool guy. I thought he's nice and he's quirky, and I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, pretty chill week. Nothing really going on.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. I'm sorry the BitDevs thing didn't work out. But
this is I can't even say anything.
Hopefully they'll fix it next month.
You're stretching it into like all I said was like it was a weird coincidence.
So me, like I won't talk about any of that stuff because it's like no one's business, and you always forget like we're live. I don't know why. You're just like, oh yeah, we're live, and you're just like, yeah, let's talk about everything. And I'm just like, I wouldn't talk about it, but you talked about it, so now we got to talk about it. So
no, we don't have to. We could have just said what I said, which I
said. But if it's also affecting me too, because people ask me all the time, like I was hanging out with somebody we all know, and they're like asking me about all the details in Austin. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just run a hackerspace. I'm just trying to do the things that I'm doing. I can't pay attention to everybody, and I don't know. It's just it gets old after a while.
You just again. I think I said like 5 seconds of words, and then you followed up my 5 seconds.
It's all my fault.
No, I just mean
it's all my fault. I'm the one.
You put it on me, and I'm putting it. Okay. I'm just putting it back where it belongs.
I'll still get blamed. Anyways, this next we're gonna cover the top stories, and then maybe Keyan will have a couple things, and then I'll talk about all the cool stuff in Guadalajara later. But let's jump into the top stories this week. The top post, or the number 3 post this week, is at what point did we stop caring about freedom? This is from Anon. Wow, Bitcoin territory, August 15th, 31 comments, 13,000 stats. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Wavelength is a new product from Lightning Labs. It's like their take on ARC. I don't know. It looks like you're in the top post of the week. Are you? Or am I?
No, this is number 3. No, this is number 3.
Oh, let me see. You're right. I got.
Yeah, this is the one Wumble sent me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Anon is upset that Bitcoin isn't. And it's kind of more nuanced than that, but they're upset that Bitcoin isn't really succeeding or landing with people, and kind of frustrated. Like they kind of see what Bitcoin's doing and what Bitcoin is, and how it can make these, like the systems that inherit it, get some of the freedoms and stuff that it has built into it, and is frustrated that people aren't really using it, and they're kind of just going about doing their normal stuff with fiat, and seem disinterested in Bitcoin, and have really no interest. And in addition to like some Bitcoiners who I think are also kind of ignoring some of the gloomier part of this, where it seems like Bitcoin has matured to a certain degree, and you'd expect a certain level of maturity, at least in terms of like daily spending, medium exchange stuff, and we're not really seeing it. But like Bitcoiners are kind of ignoring that and still kind of staying in their own bubble. Just a lot of like kind of general complaints about Bitcoin. Let me see if, like journalists aren't accepting Bitcoin for donations. Like sentiment around the cold card hack is obviously not helping. KYC kind of everywhere, which is just a product of, Bitcoin being self custody and Bitcoin not being very easy. So people go custodial, and then you have KYC, and everything is KYC that's custodial, or eventually will be. Yeah, it's just kind of it's kind of a nice articulation, I think, of the way a lot of Bitcoiners probably feel. Like, why hasn't this happened yet? We all thought we should be further along than we are now. Why isn't it happening yet?
Yeah, I've had some interesting conversations this week around a lot of this. It's kind of funny. We're all thinking the same thing in Bitcoin, like a hive mind. But one of the cool thoughts I had talking to somebody was that these cypherpunk values that we have, we don't really exert them. Like we don't really like. I feel like we did maybe at one time, Keyan, but I don't feel like Bitcoiners these days kind of like use that as like a thing. I don't know how to best explain it. Louis was just talking about the cypherpunk values that Bull Bitcoin has, and talking about all that stuff, and he was saying like that's at the core of that company. And I was like, you know what, he's right. Like, I think there's something about certain individuals in Bitcoin that don't exert those cypherpunk values. I know obviously you do. You're super that way. I'm probably less that way. But I would say like the majority of people who are in Bitcoin, either they're afraid to show it or they're not. I've noticed in America, there's definitely afraid to show it. Here in Mexico, they're not afraid to show that. But that's kind of my thing. But I do think there is kind of the sentiment that everything's doom and gloom, all this kind of is happening. But in reality, that's kind of a psyop. Like I really do think like we're making progress in the right direction. ARK is taking off. I've heard a lot of great things about ARK this week. Bitcoin is up if you care about that. Circular economy is growing. Tonight we're going to do an after party at Gibbons. I talked to the guy, dude. He's from like California, where you're from, and he's like hardcore Bitcoiner. Opened up a pizza shop, sold his his tech company, and lives in Guadalajara, like one of the coolest places in here, like one of the cool neighborhoods. And it's like, yeah, like that's what Bitcoiners do. Like the slow, low time preference. Go out there and build it, and then so yeah, I'm not as bearish maybe as this Anon post, but I understand the sentiment, and I understand how you could be if you're not out there looking at everything outside of just the news that gets reported on Bitcoin Magazine. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're definitely outside of Bitcoin Magazine's like readership. I think they've expanded further than that, and they're most of the anecdotes in here are from their day-to-day interactions with people, like how few of their friends are actually have Bitcoin. Even including people who value altcoins, how many of them are holding it in self-custody? How many of them are spending it from self-custody? And he says it just gets smaller and smaller and more rare. And then there's like all kind of weird hypey things that are happening online about Bitcoin, don't really line up with reality too well. But like where the places where he expects to see Bitcoin, it's not appearing. Journalists, like public, like independent journalists, are not using it to fund donations for their journalism, things like that. And so I kind of understand that. I think that's true. Bitcoin has come a long way, but I don't think
for sure.
I don't think the market has met it. Like I don't think the market acknowledges that. Perhaps because there's just so much more money spent in the like stable coin startup ecosystem right now that that the narrative just gets the little bit the incremental wins that Bitcoin tends to have, because it's like this very long-term thinking technology.
So
they don't show up.
So it's kind of funny. So like Bitcoin was running this week, and I didn't even know about it, right? Because they have like a pretty good circular economy down here. Pretty good, not great, but it's pretty good. And one of the things that was like, oh, Bitcoin's up, right? And I'm like, really? And I look And I'm like, oh crap, yeah, like let's go. Because all of a sudden my Bitcoin goes a little further than it did, 3 or 4 days ago. And this is why it's so great holding in Bitcoin for times like these, because it's a nice little surprise. But I will say to his point, like, yes, obviously there's pains and there's troubles and all that stuff, but and yes, it's taking a backseat to all the AI stuff. But I think that just might be just for the moment. I'm not that doom and gloom about it. Like, I'm not. Maybe if I didn't see so many people building and working on Bitcoin and dedicating their lives to it, I would be way more scared personally.
Yeah, I hear you. I think from the inside we can tell how firm the foundation of everything is and how well it's being built. And I mean, we just had a massive like kind of burn, like controlled burn. Well, not controlled, maybe uncontrolled burn on a lot of projects in the space where they, but that's like part of what makes Bitcoin stronger. I think long term at least, or makes any system like Bitcoin stronger. And so I think there's lots of reasons to be bullish if you're on the inside and you can kind of see all this stuff. But from the outside, if imagine you're like in the middle of Europe or the middle of the United States, wherever, the Americas somewhere, and you kind of just all you know is the people that you're kind of talking to and what you see online. What's real? Like, are the foundations actually that strong if you're not in it and encountering it every day? So I get what Anon's saying. I think it's a good like good embodiment of how I think many people feel about Bitcoin right now. Kind of confused.
Yeah, I would say yes. Keep dropping stuff like this. It makes me aware of it. But we've had somebody that traveled from the United States all the way down here to Guadalajara. I gave that person a hug. I was like, wow, you actually traveled for the United States for this event? That to me is super bullish. And maybe it goes back to what you just said. Not a lot of people know, but there are people that are providing signal. I like to think Stacker.News is a place for signal. I like to think what we do at Club Lab is a place for signal. And there's many of our friends that also do the same type of signal, right? That have events and stuff. So I think you just have to go to the places where there is the signal, and not saying ignore the other places, but realize that there is an agenda behind it. So that's all I would say.
Yeah. There were some good comments in here too. I think one of my favorites was from Scoresby. He said that he thinks most of what Bitcoin offers is censorship resistance. And so why are we expecting people to show up to Bitcoin before they need censorship resistance? And I think that generally that's like the main value proposition of Bitcoin, is that it's this money you are truly free to use, that anyone can use, regardless of who you are. And for most people, they have access to normal financial stuff, and there's not much reason to use it. And so that definitely lines up for me. But I think there are like minority values that Bitcoin has that I think we just need to do more work on kind of making better. But that's
so one of the things. This is great. I love that Scoresby said this, because this question got asked just recently, like an hour ago. Similar thing, and Gustavo had the best answer ever. And he said, "Why are we as Bitcoiners taking one step forward just to onboard somebody, and then it forces them to take 2 steps back?" And I pondered on that first. I was like, you know what? He's right. Like, why are we spending our time actually trying to onboard people that don't want to be onboarded? We should actually listen to what their needs are. Like, do they even want Bitcoin? If they did, what would that look like? And like actually break it down. There's a really young kid out of Monterey. His name's Andre. Trying to get his name right. He started this whole grassroots community in Monterey, but he's a young Gen Z guy, and he's over there having like conversations with people, and he like talks to them first about their situation, then he onboards them in their specific way. And I'm just like, wow, dude. Like, this is why every 5 years there's new people that come in with just better ideas. And it's like, yeah, time and time again has proved. So to Scoresby point, I see it, but I also think like this new group that we're getting in this cycle are just going to have different ideas and different approaches, and you just got to give it time. Because look how crazy you were doing Lightning on a website. Remember that? How crazy that was?
It's still crazy. I don't think there's anyone else doing it, really.
No. So, yeah, you say that, but like Noster, all these other applications all use Lightning now. But you at the time were doing it. I remember I thought that was freaking cool. I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And now everybody does it. I'm not saying you're the reason, but I'm saying like it takes people that see the world a little bit more crazier than others, or are really stubborn, and that want to build something they want for the world, and then they do it, and then that kind of changes, and the people follow. So, anyways, I'm in a soapbox feeling today, so sorry about that.
I got that vibe.
I'm just super pumped.
You got the high vibes.
Yeah, I got the high vibes. Sorry, Stackers. The number 2 top story this week is I closed my node CAuto.d. This is from CAuto, Lightning territory. 9 comments, 14 other sides. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah, this is a huge bummer because CAuto ran one of the earliest, like very seriously run nodes. And I think it's been years. Do they say when they started the node here?
No, that's not, can't be 25, was it? No, 2018. Whoa.
Yeah.
Was it 2018?
Very,
that's
very,
super
very,
early.
very early. Yeah. And where does it? Oh yeah, there you go. Started in May of 2018. Yeah, crazy. And he said he's shutting it down for personal reasons. Doesn't list why, but we can, no reason to need to know that. But it kind of gives some stats in this post. 1.4 million transactions is how many he forwarded. He had 3,400 channels. Most of them were closed cooperatively. A few were force closed on him. He said he almost opened 800 channels himself. And then most of the other channels just came from other people opening to him.
Were you connected to him on your Stacker.News node?
I might
are you allowed to say? Or?
I might have been at some point. I don't remember. I had I had a lot of peers, and I still do. And he might have been one of them along the way. Sometimes we're not a great routing node because we have a lot of plebs who open channels to us, and that can kind of cause a lot of like pathfinding to take a little bit longer if you're peered with us. He said 188 of the channels were so old that he can't even see who initiated them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then he said he got quite a few key sends and people who like pushed sats to him when they opened a channel, which is like an option that you have when you open a channel. Just give your peer some money. But just a great node that had a good lifespan. Lasted much longer than most people do at running a node seriously. Yeah, kind of a bummer to see it go, but I'm sure they had good reason.
I have some questions for you. I don't know much about how all this stuff works, but I'd like to think I do. Do you think it has more to do with like some new technology stuff around like ARC and like some of these other new interesting ways to route Lightning that maybe don't require a lot of liquidity, or am I wrong in that statement?
I don't think that's the case. I think he would have said that if it were technological. It sounded just personal, much as a huge domain of things. But I think if it were technical at all, if he's thought that, oh, you know what, Litecoin is great now or whatever, I think he would have said it. Or if he thought that ARC is somehow removes the need for him to provide liquidity because ARC is still using Lightning to push money around. It's not really competing directly with Lightning. It's certainly competing for plebs maybe who don't really want to run nodes, but other than that, it's not really competing. He was like a professional node.
So you don't think it's like another piece of technology or something that's maybe that he moved to?
No, I don't see any indication of that, and I don't see what technology that would be if he's still a Bitcoiner. None of those make sense.
Okay, that's why I thought it was a stupid question, but I thought I'd ask. Cool. I guess the interesting thing is then, I guess my question to you is, what do you think it was?
Oh, well, I don't want to speculate on something he doesn't want to talk about.
That's all we do on the show, speculate.
I don't want to speculate. He said it's personal and private, and I'll leave it at that.
All right. Yep. Well, Stackers, you'll just have to ask him yourself. Did he say it in the comments? I'm sure somebody asked him.
They did, and he said it's for personal reasons. I'm not discussing it. That's what he said.
Oh, wow. So you doubled down on it. Okay. Well, hopefully everything's all right. We wish you well, CAuto, and looking forward to when you come back and start up in Lightning node again. So there's that. Let's jump into the number one story this week. This is from Anon, another one. This post was paid for with Wavelength. August 19th, Bitcoin territory, 5 comments, 20,000 sats. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah, so Wavelength is an ARC-like product that Lightning Labs just came out with. I think it was about a month ago. July 21st, I think, is when they first announced it. At that time, it was still in alpha. I think and not on mainnet. It might still be the case today, as mainnet is invite only. But it looks like this is their product to compete with Arcade and Bark and those kinds of things. Is pairing their experience and engineering team with this new technology that people seem to be excited about. There's a good post from Michael Levin around the announcement that describes more, although a lot of it just talks about agents and AI, which I just don't understand entirely. But it looks good. I mean, it does give me 3 implementations of the same technology is usually a pretty bullish sign. That's like pretty well. That means that a lot of smart people, in many cases, have seen value in the technology and are pursuing it because they think it will provide value to their customers. And so I think that's a pretty good sign. I think, like most other ARC implementations, it has this liveness requirement where you have to come online, I think, once every few weeks or something. Otherwise, they effectively take custody of your money, but not exactly. I think it might be a legal loophole of some kind that allows them to take custody in that short time window. You also have to come online to receive your exit transactions if you ever want to exit without their permission. But this is like another technology that changes the trust a little bit, but allows people to share UTXOs, and be off chain without having to manage Lightning channels. That's you get to be off chain. The benefits of being off chain, the benefit of Lightning, without having to have Lightning channels. Only you have to, but you do have to trust. I think they call them operators or something, coordinators. You do have to trust. You do have to have a coordinator that you kind of trust sometimes, and then other times you can unilaterally exit from them. So the trust is quite a bit degraded relative to Lightning, but the ease of use is higher. Anyway, that's
I guess my question to you is will this all interoperate with all the other implementations, or does that not matter, or how does all that going to work or play out?
They're all going to. It seems like they're all going to interoperate using Lightning and on-chain Bitcoin, but I don't imagine you'll be. I mean, they could at some point, come up with a spec that allows you to send one UTX or one VTXO to another coordinator's VTXO thing. Maybe that could work. Maybe you could swap from one ARC to another. It's just way too early.
It's too early. That's what you're saying.
Way too early. It's like 2018 Lightning.
Wow, early. That early?
Yeah.
Well, it's cool though. I keep hearing about ARC this week. I mean, I heard about it in the lab, but if it didn't really take it seriously.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, when you just hear it from the same person, it's a bit. It's hard to.
Well, it's like the same. It's like the same 3 people.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know, and they've been wrong. You've known them a long time. They've been wrong sometimes.
No. So what I'm saying is it's the same 3 people, but it's also kind of like one of those things where I used to be one of those Bitcoiners that was super excited about new technology when I first came in, and I realized that takes 3-4 years. Because I would always ask, it'd be TM 2 weeks, But now I realize it's early, so it's just going to take 3 years. So maybe 3 years from now we'll have something. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'd guess with this many implementations floating around, we might actually get some movement on Covenant opcodes and a Covenant soft fork in the future, because this specifically ARC benefits a lot from it, and most Bitcoiners say, well, we don't need these opcodes unless there's clear and present adoption of these opcodes. And I think this is happening. This appears to be happening, and they benefit from Covenant. So I think there might be a push. That might be the next soft fork we actually get as Covenants. I don't know, just kind of speculation there, but It is like early tech, so we don't have a lot of the things that we might be able to imagine with these. I also find when I go around and I browse the documentation to see how I might implement a wallet for these things, it's very sparse, not very clear what's kind of going on or how I'd use it in certain contexts. So it is just super early. It is like I think in a year, maybe AI accelerates this a bit, so maybe a year or two, we get something a little more mature.
Yeah, I think once you see like an official wallet, like, I don't know who that would be. I don't know. I feel like whenever it's like, well, no, that's wrong too. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna shut up. Anyways, cool stuff though. That's a really interesting cool to see. So that's all the top stories we have this week. We're gonna jump into Womble's picks. But before we do that, we gotta thank our lovely sponsor. Our lovely sponsor is Bitcoin Education Quest. This is a Bitcoin education website where you can go and learn about Bitcoin. Maybe they have ARC. Let me see if they have ARC. I'm gonna click here, go here, click continue, learn about the Lightning Network, learn about all this stuff. And if I go here on search topics, let me see if I can type in ARC and if anything comes up. Looks like it doesn't. Okay, well, I can learn about Fedi ARC. There you go. I can learn about layer 2 Fedi ARC and all that kind of stuff. So check that out. Isn't that cool? And then there's posts by Barack, who started ARC. Cool stuff. Awesome. Yeah, if you're interested in checking out more about Bitcoin education and all the cool fundamentals around all these interesting topics that we talk about week to week here on Stacker.News, check out bitcoineducation.quest from one of the stackers, Phil. Shout out, Phil. Thank you for sponsoring Stacker News Live. With that, let's jump into Womble's picks. Womble's picks. The wonderful world of Womble is here. So Womble this week wanted us to talk about, let me make sure I get this right, Keyan. 40-000-000-000 no, I'm sorry. Let me start again. 40, 000, 000, 000, 000, 000.00 from Scoresby, 27 comments, 6,351 stats. Keyan, what is this?
Yeah, so it looks like the U.S. national debt has crossed $40 trillion.
How much did you get? How much did you get of that? How much did you contribute to that, Keyan?
Well, I did get a few stimulus checks.
But how much did you contribute to this debt? You took at least, right, like $1 trillion. You've contributed $1 trillion of debt from yourself, haven't you?
Oh, you mean I went to war with another country?
No, I'm saying like you personally contributed at least $1 trillion or $1 million of the national debt, haven't you?
Contributed? Yeah. You mean I have $1 trillion that have come from the government? Is that what?
No, I'm saying that you have personally throughout your whole life contributed at least $1 million to the national debt.
$1 million? I thought you said $1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
But what? I don't know what you mean by contributing.
I mean, like, so, like, you know how like all this stuff costs money and like schools. Hear me out for like schools, like college, like streets, like roads, all that stuff. How much would you say personally throughout your whole life have you contributed to the national debt? Just an answer as one individual using all these services.
I mean, probably not a whole lot. You mean how? Oh, like I went to public school, I went to public university. What else? I've used public like health services,
restrooms. So you use public restrooms. You walk on public streets.
I work on public streets. I don't know. I've probably cost the government at least $1 million. At least $1 million. Yeah, probably.
So we have a reasonable answer for this national debt, right? Then.
Yeah, but this is federal debt, and so most of the services that you and I would use.
I was trying to save it. I was trying to save it, but it didn't work. Sorry, United States government. All right, Keyan, so what's going on?
I don't know. Things are as they've been for a long time, and the government is spending more money than it is taking in, even though it's probably taking in unprecedented amounts of money. It's just spending money so fast that they're never going to be able to catch up from it. And then the interest payments are just going to get higher and higher, and eventually, this is like kind of the demise of the dollar that this is like part of the demise of the dollar. 50 trillion will come faster unless something dramatic changes. 50 trillion will come faster than 40 trillion did after we hit 30 trillion. Just the way these things grow. But yeah, it's an impressively big number.
Do you think, like, what number do you think before it finally pops the bubble?
I think it goes to infinity. I think it's usually how it works.
Yeah.
It just compounds and compounds until it's just out of control, and then what they do is they start paying. I'd have to look more carefully at the history of these kinds of things, but at some point they start printing money, absurd amounts of money just to pay off the debt, but it becomes super worthless. And so maybe the actual raw number is reasonable by the time we have so much inflation. But I don't know.
But don't they issue bonds? Did they issue bonds this week? Wasn't that a whole thing?
Don't they always issue bonds? Isn't that what they do like every day? Don't they have don't they employ like thousands of people to do that every day?
I need to go to a Parker Lewis meetup to understand what's going on.
Oh, no.
Too soon, Keyan, too soon.
No, seriously, I have no idea who that is.
I feel like Parker could explain this though for me. I'll just ask him. No, but I do think though, like there's this. I need somebody to explain it, but I just don't think like. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, but I just don't see it ever popping, unless there's like World War III, which could happen at any point. I mean, I don't know. How do you see this ends? That's what I'm trying to get at.
It does. I mean, it does. It ends the way it always ends, which is there is a world war. It happens like every I don't know, what is it, like 50 to 100 years or something, or it's like maybe like 40 to 100 years, and then someone else takes over as the world runners, the largest empire, the most powerful empire. And
oh wow!
So that'll happen, I think, probably I would guess before 2050.
So you think, So you think maybe in our lifetime, if we live that long, that we'd see the next world war?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in the beginnings of it right now. I mean, we're waging 2 wars right now, sorta. We're involved certainly in 2 wars that, like, sort of proxy, we're at least helping other people that are engaged in war. And sometimes I listen to podcasts of people who are interested in like national security stuff, and we have stuff broiling. Like there's tons of background stuff happening with China. That's kind of kind of cold, like kind of Cold War, not kinetic. But they're in disinformation stuff, probably all kinds of spying happening, information like intellectual property stealing, and then Taiwan is supposed to be the last domino that falls that starts the war, or the first domino that falls that starts the war. That's what I think happens, but and we're just too broke to win. We don't have enough money.
Too broke to win. That's funny. Well, let's see what Wumble had a question for us. Wumble says, where is it at? Oh, right here. Wumble said, question, has the national debt become so large that citizens care less about it now versus when it was smaller and more reasonable?
I think so. I think it's harder to grapple with that number. I think it's harder to say that the debt matters when we've let it grow so big. It's like if someone says the debt matters now that it's at 40 trillion, most people are going to react by saying, well, why didn't you care about it while it was at 20 trillion? Obviously, it doesn't matter much because it's doubled in the last 10 years and everything's fine. Why, so I do think that is true. I think we get super desensitized to these numbers. It's just like kind of what inflation does is it makes money meaningless, and the like number, the scoreboard is like meaningless. It's hard to place meaning on. It's almost like it was designed that way, but
I feel bad for Gen Z. I really do. But they'll figure it out. This will be their problem, I'm sure. I mean, millennials have tried to, do Bitcoin stuff. And I think, isn't Pierre doing stuff like that? Like Bitcoin backed things. I know Parker has like talked on Twitter and talked about this publicly multiple times. He wrote a book about it. Like, I feel like Bitcoiners, like millennial Bitcoiners have already tried telling the government, like, there's something wrong here. And I just don't, like, I'm so jaded by it. I just don't think it's going to skip our generation. It's going to go straight to the Gen Z, and they're not going to know how to clean up this mess. Personally, I think that's what's going to happen, Wumble.
Oh, no, I think that's a much better place than living through the end like we are. I think it'd be much better to be, 30 years old when everything resets and you get to be part of that ascendance.
Yeah.
Like, because right now we're like just descending. There is no.
Yeah.
It's not good. So I think it's actually pretty bullish. And if you look at I think some of the data, their Gen Z is actually doing pretty good. They're making pretty good money. I mean, I think it's a large number of them have OnlyFans accounts or whatever. But maybe that why not? Maybe that's the way things will be. But they're getting by, and yeah. So I'm not too worried about them. I think time solves a lot of problems, and they by definition have a lot of time.
Yeah. Cool. That's all the stories that we have this week. Yeah. Did you want to bring up anything else before we jump into Cowboys?
Let me see.
I'm looking at all the top stories here. Was there anything other really important for this week? I feel like there was.
Like big news. I mean, we saw another swap service go down yesterday.
Oh, which one?
Atomic Finance.
Oh no.
Yeah, they said they're shutting down.
That was a multi-sig one, right?
I don't think so, but they had a lot more like Bitcoin sidechain altcoins than Bolts did, but they also did like Bitcoin to those things and Bitcoin to Lightning, kind of like Bolts. And they similarly shut down with Bolts.
That's interesting. Like I was just like Lou was saying today that Bull Bitcoin has its own swap service now. They just integrated it back in. So maybe it just moves to wallets. Maybe you think? Doesn't Zeus have that too?
Zeus, I think that Zeus might have shut theirs down. I think they might have been a fork of Bolts. I think they shut down their swap service pending review or whatever.
Maybe they just move to exchanges then. Maybe. What do you think?
I think there'll probably be just more swap services that come out. Maybe some of the wallets will do it in house. I think it's pretty accessible. There's enough open source code.
That's what I'm thinking.
They can learn from the mistakes. That makes sense to me, especially if they're using swaps as part of their wallet.
Yeah, it's another the revenue stream for them too, I'd imagine. It's their product offering. That's pretty. I would be curious to see what's going on with all these. Maybe they're all getting hired. I don't know anything, but that'd be funny, right?
Oh, you mean the people who are leaving these companies?
No, I'm saying but sure, why not, right? Like maybe they're all getting hired.
I would imagine. Yeah, I would imagine. I think Bolts had a team of 4 people, and they, so they all kind of stopped, and so they can now go somewhere else. I know Blockstream announced that they were going to create a swap service. You said that Bull was creating.
Bull Bitcoin has their own in-house. Yeah, they just said that right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think we'll just see. We'll see a lot of that. Yeah, and Bull Bitcoin, their entire wallet was based around swaps. You couldn't use the wallet without swaps, so it makes a lot of sense for them to do it.
Yeah, I'm like super bullish on what him or from what I hear. I can't share any of it, dude. I'm super bullish on them. And then even audio, dude. Like they announced some things this morning about the real estate stuff. Super bullish. I think I'm realizing now, Keyan, like a lot of this stuff, especially around startup stuff in Mexico, they're just a little bit more like they just pivot faster. Or not even pivot, that's the wrong word. They just maneuver faster as far as like researching and then finding and then like moving in on that to offer for customers. And that probably could just be like they're really good at and attentive of listening to their customers. But yeah, really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. I think also Mexico has cracked down less on this sector than America has, and I think that plays a huge part in allowing people to feel free to experiment and just build things. And I think that's probably one of the reasons to be bullish on the rest of the world that takes a more, or at least isn't as skeptical or defensive against
or
Bitcoin.
afraid of the government. Yeah.
So
yeah. Interesting. Okay. So any other things that happen?
There's a lot of good stuff. Like Den is reading Keynes's The Economic Possibilities of Our Grandchildren and kind of dissecting it from a more Austrian lens. I don't know if Den considers themselves an Austrian, but they are definitely not a Keynesian. And he just dissects it. I think he did it in like 4 posts or so. What else do we got? He also did another write-up on peer-to-peer stuff because I think it was a year ago roughly that he was using, I think, Vexel when he was at BTC Prague, and he wrote about that some more. Trying to think some other stuff.
Yeah. Well, cool.
There's some cool stuff coming out. There's a lot of like math. We got quite a few posts about math and AI. Like the latest Fields Medal winner is like left their job at a university to go work for an AI company. They would go into work for AI.
Oh wow.
It's kind of a big deal. Anyway, lots, quite a bit going on for people that are
sign up to the Stacker.News newsletter. That's how you get all these interesting posts. Keyan spends 2 days doing it. Is it 2 days now, or you got it done faster? Did you do the Stacker.News newsletter?
No, I do this podcast, which is kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing.
But don't you do a newsletter every Saturday? I get it. Or no, I see it on Stacker.News. But don't you do one like physical mail or email? I'm sorry, email.
Yes, I do email. There's an email once a week, and that takes like a few hours at most.
Oh, you got it done a few hours now. Good for you. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a script that does most of the hard part of like copying stuff.
You're still reading it?
Oh yeah, I always read it, and I force myself to do a short summary.
Oh wow. It's like Keyan's Digest every week. It's a weekly Keyan's Digest of. Let's check it out.
More of a Stacker.News thing, because I don't know if I'd pick some of the top stories that we get. That's kind of just what the Sats pick.
Yep. All right, we're gonna jump into Top Cowboys. Let's get on up. I didn't get to take a look at the comments this week, so I'm sorry, Stackers. But you know what? We'll go to the Top Cowboys. We got the number 1 is Stacker in Hiding, then Coob, then Undisciplined, then Blockchain Boog. So these 3 guys, Gray Ruby, Blockchain Boog, and Undisciplined, they're just gonna keep going at it. I think none of them has quit yet. Every week. What do you think, Keyan?
They're sticking to it. I definitely agree. It's a tight race, but I don't see it changing anytime soon.
I don't see it changing either. We got scores. We had number 7, OT, number 8, we also Satoshi, number 9, Satwise. Oh wow, that's new. Oh no, he's been there. Wow, 93 days. Wumble's making a comeback. 50 days. We got Crew, Coffee Badger, Machiavelli, Solomon Satoshi, Justin Shocknet, Peter Todd. Even Peter Todd's making a run for it now. Oh no, he's at 3 days. Coins Reporter, Sooks. Yep, let's find out. Pleb Poet there. Pleb Poet got how many? 1 day? Figures. I'm just kidding. She'll love that. No, she was actually in the comments. That's why I said that. I like to get sassy. Where is she? She's right here. Boom. Did she drop a zine today?
I was just looking. It doesn't look like it. She's might have gotten out of the habit. She took 2 weeks off.
Yeah. Well, she's pregnant, so
Yeah, but she should have twice the brain power. So
we love you, Jana. So okay, cool. Our Gentic is the number 97 Bitcoiner this week, and he is the founder of our Gentic.network. Let the AI agents pay in Satoshis. That's cool. What is this? Toll booth? Oh, awesome. Well, it got down zapped. Or no, what's this? Did it get down zapped?
Yeah, it's just kind of slop.
Well, there you go. Keyan, what are you doing this weekend?
I continue helping a friend move, and so we're slow movers, so I'll keep doing that. And I don't think I'm going to do anything else except that. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not anywhere fun. I'm exactly where I normally am.
So I actually have some fun things I'm going to do this weekend. So what are you going to do? Right now, I have to go over there because Gita's closing the day, and there's no I have no idea what he's gonna say. So, yeah, I know. He was like, "Car, is it okay if I go up there?" And I'm like, "Sure, Chris, it's your hometown. Like, whatever you want, dude." So we'll see. We'll deal with it later.
Goodness. Yeah, you better go.
Well, I'm not gonna, dude. I'm the type of person, like, you can say whatever you want. Like, I'm not a censor kind of guy. I just don't do it. I censor myself terribly, but I'm not gonna censor somebody else. So he's gonna go up there. They just finished doing the hackathon stuff. And then tonight we're going to Gibbons. This is dude, this guy's like really cool, man. You would totally get along with him. Super cool guy. Has a family here in Mexico. Built a pizza company. Started really small. Now it's big. And it's like we're gonna have the after party. I'll share some pictures online later, but we're gonna have a DJ. There's like pizza, beer. It's gonna be a good time. And then tomorrow we're going to there's like a Bitcoin walk and some stuff. A lot of community events tomorrow, and then we're gonna go to Tequila. It's like a town here in Jalisco. So we'll be out there, and then we're supposedly going all dancing, like
salsa dancing.
I think so. G's like hyped up for it. So
he must be practicing. He must have been practicing with his girl. He knows what's up.
Yeah, but dude, it's really good. Like this week today's been super busy, obviously, but like this week has been really fun, dude. Like super fun. I'm definitely coming back here, like again at some point soon, because it's infectious, man. The community here is like really infectious, and it's like it makes me more bullish. Yeah, that's all I would say. But yeah, we're gonna share all the videos and stuff like that here and next week, and we'll get it on Bitcoin News and all that stuff. So I'll post on Stacker.News too and stuff. So we'll have it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're recording everything.
Oh, cool. No, that's awesome. There hasn't been a lot of that, right? With the past.
Well, last year we couldn't do it. I think it was because of Yucatan and like the power and like it's just trying to find somebody that could do it. This year we actually, because they have such a good community, somebody stepped up and it's like, yeah, I got you guys. So it's gonna be really professional. Yeah, good living down here. Really good living.
Well,
cool. All right, Keyan. Well, have yourself a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. I fly back Sunday, and looking forward to hanging out again. Have a lot of other stuff to share. So
yeah, have fun.